Don't ask me how, but we got our hands on a couple of cans of this limited edition Figgy pudding Spam. And I can't think of a better thing to do with something rare like this than to turn it into meat snacks. So today we're gonna turn this limited edition holiday Spam flavor into jerky. Welcome back to the test kitchen. We took a little break for the holidays, but now we're back at it, ready to hit those weekly uploads. So the first episode back is holiday meat, as it should be. Last time we made Spam jerky, we went with paper thin and crispy. This time, we're testing thicker slices because I want a little chew on this one as well. Is this gonna taste like fruitcake? Is this gonna taste like meat? Either way, we're still making it and we're still gonna eat it. Okay, so here's the format. We're taking a weird ingredient and running it through the jerky making process. We're gonna run two versions of this flavor. The first is Figgy pudding right out of the can for a baseline. And in the second can, we'll have a little surprise seasoning mixed in with it. We'll track texture, flavor, and snackability. Then we'll bring in the official taste testers to try it out. Now the target outcome here is Figgy pudding Spam jerky that tastes delicious. And the measuring stick's gonna be if our taste testers go back for a second piece. So here's the plan. Spam is already cooked, but it's already soft and greasy. So we need three things to make this actually work. The first one is structure. We want to chill it so it slices clean and it stays intact while we work it. Two is balance. Now the flavor is supposed to be sweet and spiced, so we add something to balance it out a little bit. And three is texture. We're looking for that perfect mixture of snap and chew. But with this recipe, we risk overcooking it and messing it up on our dehydrator racks. So we'll try to beat that by going a little light on the seasoning and spraying the racks with some non-stick spray. Here's the ingredient speed run for you. We got 2 cans of the Figgy pudding Spam, a half cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of ginger, half a teaspoon of clove, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. For gear, all you're gonna need on this is a knife or a slicer, some paper towels, racks, your pan spray, and a dehydrator or an oven. Now the prep strategy is simple here. We're gonna chill it first, then slice it, then keep it moving fast so the Spam never gets time to warm up and turn mushy. Let's get into it. Step 1 is obviously the Spam. First, we need to throw this in the freezer for a little while. Why? Because we need it to firm up a little bit. Makes it easier to slice. Pop each loaf out of the can. Then I'm gonna pat the outside dry a little bit and I'm gonna set it on this parchment paper. And now into the freezer for 45 to 60 minutes. I'll just get a feel for it until it feels stiff enough on the outside, but not rock solid. Okay, these were in for about 75 minutes, a little longer than I planned, but they got some good stiffness to them here, not too hard. I should be able to slice through that pretty good. Let's put a knife to it and see how they cut. Step 2, slicing. The thickness you slice this determines how this actually bites more than anything else in this entire process. If you have a deli slicer, keep the pusher tight to it and take slow passes. If you're using a knife, use long strokes and keep that block cold. If it starts to smear, stop and chill it again. The knife works fine for cutting through this stuff. It can get a little tricky, but it'll do the job just fine. Personally, I prefer this custom-made Spam slicer. Just kidding, it's made for cheese. We got it on Amazon. But look how it just slices right through a whole can of Spam. Makes really even slices, and it's done in a heartbeat. Step 3, let's establish the baseline. So we need to establish a baseline here to learn what this flavor will taste like on its own. So I'm gonna take these racks and spray them lightly here with pan spray. Hopefully nothing will stick to this. Then I'll just lay down half of the slices. Now if you want to, you could hit both sides of this with a few grinds of black pepper or maybe a pinch of red pepper flakes. Anything you want here to kind of balance out the sweetness a little bit. But we're doing this one without anything at all added to it. That way we can see what it tastes like on its own. Now here's a quick pro tip when you're laying your jerky out on your racks. Airflow is your friend and sticking to the rack is your enemy. So when you lay these slices down, lay them down with space between them, no overlap. If you run out of rack space, run fewer pieces. Just do not stack these on top of each other. Your instinct may be to pack these trays like Tetris, but fight that instinct. Overlap causes the Spam to not fully dehydrate. Step 4, we're gonna make the dry rub. Why are we doing a dry rub? Well, we're trying to steer this from being just a sweet kind of a dessert type of a thing to something you'd actually snack on. Plus, we're trying to make this just pop just a little bit more with that Figgy pudding flavor. In my little ninja container here, we're gonna mix the brown sugar, the cinnamon, the ginger, the clove, nutmeg, and the black pepper. Then I'm just gonna mix it all here till it's fully mixed together. And then I'm gonna add a coat of that seasoning mixture on both sides of the remaining slices. I'm gonna go a little bit light and even. I'm trying to make sure there's no clumps. Step 5, let's get these into the dehydrator. All right, we're gonna get these these first two baseline trays into the dehydrator. Let's get these two trays in the dehydrator. So we're gonna go ahead and set the dehydrator for 167 degrees. And if your dehydrator runs a little hot, feel free to go ahead and drop that temperature down a little bit, but just add extra time. We're gonna set this 167 degrees and I'm gonna start checking it about 4 or 5 hours. All right, now don't forget the mission here. We're trying to turn this figgy pudding Spam into a jerky that you would snack on. We already chilled it, sliced it, and we made 2 different flavors of it. One version right out of the can, and we're gonna compare that with another version we made with the extra sugar and spice right on top. So what's left is simple. Finish the dry, then just cool it down, and then let the taste testers tell me if this belongs in the Hall of Fame or in the trash. Now for the last step, we're gonna do some finishing checks here. Now we do this because we're looking for kind of a repeatable endpoint on this product. The thinner pieces, if they're too dry, they're gonna start to snap and break. Then the thicker pieces should bend with some resistance, but then tear cleanly. There really shouldn't be a squishy center, so if it's finished like that, it needs a little more time. Okay, I think these are gonna need a few more hours here. I'm gonna check them every hour, but my guess is 2 to 3 more hours. We'll check and see in a little bit. All right, now it's been 7 hours total on this. Let's take a look at this. This is the first one we did. We did no seasoning on this, and we also trimmed it by hand. You could see that some of the hand trimming stuff led to some inconsistencies. You got some thinner pieces, and then you got some thicker pieces. So there's definitely gonna be more inconsistencies in the drying on this one. Compare that to the one we used the Spam slicer on. Look how uniform all those are. All of them have the exact same thickness, so it's a lot easier to control the end result with the drying. So on the original version, what we're looking for here, some of the thinner pieces are probably going to snap a little easier, cleaner break, where the thicker pieces just bend a little bit more before they start tearing. So there's definitely going to be some inconsistency on chew on this one. That's not always a bad thing. You could tell this original version has a little more surface moisture and a little bit of grease on it. You can definitely tell when you turn over the pieces. Where the pieces we seasoned, they don't have that surface moisture or that grease. They're pretty clean all the way around. So both of these are quite a bit different. Let's get them all plated up because I'm anxious to hear what the taste testers think of it. All right, taste test time. We have 2 different versions here of the Figgy Pudding Spam Jerky. One straight out of the can and one of them with a special dry rub. But before we take a bite, tell me what you think Figgy Pudding is and what do you expect this to taste like?
Like made with figs, maybe? Is that why it's called Figgy?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's fruit-based figs.
All right, this is the one right out of the can, nothing done to it. Grab it, bend it, tell me what you think of the texture.
A little tougher than I expected.
Oh, it's a little drier and breaks apart a little more than I kind of expecting. All right, let's take a bite. Not what I was expecting.
Had an immediate crispness to it.
I don't hate the flavor.
I actually don't.
I'm picking up on like some seasonal flavors. I don't know what that is, like cinnamon or nutmeg or something along those lines.
So what hits first? Sweet, salty?
I feel like, to me, it was salty right out the gate, but then it was quickly overpowered by the sweetness.
I don't know, I'm going with savory spiciness. Like, not spiciness, but spice.
I don't know, I'm going with sweet spice.
The more I eat it though, the more it grows on me.
I actually kind of want to go for a second piece.
I knew you would.
Kind of like.
Honestly, I don't hate this. I came in here expecting to hate this.
I thought I would absolutely hate it.
All right, one sentence to describe it.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly good is exactly it. I can get down with it.
A nice mix of spices.
Okay, well then let's go right to version 2. This one has some additional dry rub and seasoning to it. So grab it, tell me what you think of this one.
It smells good. Looks like a dog treat. Smells good.
It does look like a dog treat, but doesn't have that surface moisture and all that grease that the other one does. All right, let's take a bite. What's the first thing you get, Kenny?
Some sweetness that time.
A lot of sweetness.
Definitely sweetness.
But I feel like it's not a sugar sweetness, it's something else.
It kind of changes the profile of all the savory stuff that's in it.
It doesn't highlight the other flavor, it competes with it.
All right, which one do you prefer?
I'll be honest, I think the first one.
Yeah.
Weird.
I think so. Like, I like the additional sweet, and I don't dislike this one. That one's surprisingly good and simple. All right, final one. If you were on a plane and the flight attendant brought you pretzels, a cookie, or this, which one are you taking?
I'm almost leaning towards this.
Yeah. Give me the Spam.
Yeah, it depends on my mood. I might want that cookie one day, but in a generic setting, I'll take the protein, I guess. All right, well, that's it for the Figgy Pudding Spam Jerky. Drop a comment on one of the weirdest flavors or a really good flavor idea that you think we should make. And if you like this flavor experiment, don't forget to follow us. We got a bunch of new flavors coming out. We're back on our weekly grind, so we have some really interesting things coming up shortly. And if you don't know, we drop brand new flavors that we've never dropped before every single month, but only to our official taste testers. It's free to sign up, and there's a link down in the description. Love to see you there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here in the test kitchen.